Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I want you guys to continue to pray for me. Please pray for me by leaving a dislike on this video. I'm still waiting for my miracle to show up. So as you guys know, I've been praying for a few $1,000,000 or maybe even a few $1 billion to appear when I wake up one of these mornings. And also, when I wake up, that Mary Curry is sleeping right next to me. And I still think it's going to happen. I've always felt I would be a billionaire someday. Especially, there were actually 3 occasions in my life where I really, really felt someday I'm going to be a billionaire. The very first one was I was a kid and I learned how undervalued silver was, and I was going to search. I used to love to search rolls of $50 for silver, and I just swore that one of these days I was going to repeat the Hunt Brothers saga. I really did, because it didn't seem that hard. Yeah, I was accumulating coin after coin after coin, and it just seemed like it was really easy, right? Even when I couldn't find them in circulation, I started working on my PhD. I got a stipend, and I took some of it, and I bought silver. Eventually, I graduated to gold and platinum, and it didn't seem that hard to do. And I just felt that I was going to hit it one day. I didn't know how or why. The second time in my lifetime that I thought I was going to become a billionaire was when I wrote my first computer game in 2011. My grandfather had just passed away on my father's side, and I was trying to take my mind off of the loss, and I started writing an AI for the game of Othello. And before I knew it, I had a really good Othello AI, and I just knew that one of these days I was going to write the #1 game for something, and hit it big. And the third time in my life that I felt like I was going to be a billionaire, you guys already know this, was the first time I ever made art out of bismuth. I thought either my art was going to do well or the market price of bismuth was going to do well. Either way. And I'm still waiting for that miracle, though. And I know it's coming. Maybe it's not going to come from one of these, right? Most likely not the games. I don't think I'm getting anywhere with that. I've kind of put that back on the shelf for the moment. Probably not from cornering the market on one of the precious metals. Maybe from my art projects. Probably not from bismuth going really high. I would hate to see that because I really love my art projects now. And I still pray that I will meet a modern-day Mary Curry, a smart and attractive girl, right? That's what I mean when I say Mary Curry, right? And I really think it's on the way. Every night when I go home and I don't have Mary Curry in my bed at the moment, I remind myself that I'm one day closer to that. And usually that helps me go to sleep. Otherwise, I could just toss and turn forever. And so I really mean that when I say I'm one day closer to being a billionaire, one day closer to meeting Mary Curry. When I was a kid, I used to really despise when I would see if I made a move on a girl and I got rejected and I saw her happy with some other guy, that didn't bother me so much. What really bothered me was when she wouldn't date anybody at all. That used to bother the heck out of me. And so the concept that Mary Curry was widowed for 28 years really bothered the heck out of me. I really thought that was a waste. And obviously I don't feel that way anymore. But that used to bother me a lot. And I swore one of these days, if I studied, I wanted to study chemistry. My dad didn't let me because I was too careless and often made mistakes. And even to this day, I still make mistakes and burn myself when I work with bismuth, right? God forbid if I worked with the stuff Mary Curry was working with. I wouldn't live as long as she did, right? But even her husband, right? He was daydreaming about how to make some other element and got run over by a horse, right? But it used to bother me when I would see girls that I like and they would stay single. If they went with some other guy, that would bother me, but I could that was more acceptable. And so I swore I was going to invent using her invention, I was going to invent a time travel machine so I could go back to be with her. I don't feel that way anymore. I now consider that her 28 years is almost like a second marriage. And also, when I got to know, well, this century's Polish idol, right? I got really upset at her too, and I really didn't. Didn't really even want to follow her until very recently. Anyway, so I'll be one day closer to that. Please pray for me. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.